Hi, this is Ken Crosson with Piedmont Injury Law. We're a personal injury law firm in Marietta, Georgia. And today I want to talk about some do's and don'ts to keep in mind in case you're ever in a car crash. I know you're probably a very careful driver. Everyone who's watching this video is careful drivers, but there are a lot of people out there who are not careful drivers. And it's inevitable that if you drive on the roads long enough, eventually somebody's going to hit you. So what are some things you should do and some things you shouldn't do when you're on the scene of a car crash? First thing I'd urge you to do is try to stay calm. It's not the easiest thing to do when you've just been hit. Your adrenaline's going to be rushing, your heart's going to be racing, but everything's going to go better if you can stay calm and keep your head. Second, if your car is somewhere where you're in danger, you need to move it to a place where you can be safe. But if you're safe where you are, it's probably best to leave the cars where they are so that when the police get there, they're able to see the scene as it actually was right after the car crash. Which brings me to the third one, which is to call 911. If you don't know that somebody else has called 911 and gotten the police on their way, then you should call 911 yourself. Make sure that they come out. They can secure the scene. They can get the evidence that they need to get. They can make sure that a report is generated, which you're going to need later. If you are able to, you should take pictures of the scene, pictures of the environment, pictures of all of the vehicles that are involved, get their license plates, any pictures of debris on the roadway. If you're too seriously injured to do so, or if it's not safe for you to get out of your car to do so, please don't do so. But if you are able to do it, it can be helpful down the road to have evidence of exactly what the scene looked like. If there are any witnesses who've stopped, get their contact information. Witnesses will sometimes stop and say, hey, I saw what happened, but then they drive on and you never know who they were or how you can get in touch with them, and you really can't get their information later when you need it. The police officer is going to ask you if you're injured and if you need medical services. If you are seriously injured, or if you think you're seriously injured, get in the ambulance, go to the hospital, let them check you out, and make sure that you don't have anything life-threatening or anything that might risk paralyzing you. Most of your medical treatment is going to be done after that hospital visit, but on the day of, if you have any suspicion that you might be seriously injured, make sure you get thoroughly checked out. Make sure that any dangerous situations have been caught by the doctors. And then I would recommend contacting an attorney as soon as possible. If there's the possibility that down the road you're going to want to bring a claim for bodily injury, it's going to be to your benefit to have an attorney working on the case from the very beginning. And because personal injury attorneys work on a contingency basis, they're not getting paid by the hour, it doesn't cost you any more to have them working on that case from day one. Now, there are also a couple of things that you should not do when you're on the scene of a wreck. Obviously, the flip side of staying calm is losing your temper. Don't do that. It's not going to make anything better, no matter how wrong the other person was. You also shouldn't admit fault or apologize or say anything that minimizes your pain or injury. It's very natural to try to put other people at their ease, to apologize when something bad has happened, even if it wasn't really your fault. I think we all probably do this on a regular basis. But in the situation like this, anything that you say that the other side can ultimately use to minimize their fault or to minimize your injuries, they're going to do. So if somebody hits you and you say, oh, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have stopped so suddenly, your stopping so suddenly may have had absolutely nothing to do with the car crash. But down the road, if you try to make a bodily injury claim, your saying those words is going to be used against you. If you say, oh, no, I'm fine, I'm not hurt at all, even though the reality is most people don't know whether they're hurt or at all right on the scene. It usually takes a little while, a couple of days, a couple of weeks. But if you say on the scene that you're not hurt, ultimately when you come back and say, I was hurt and I need to make a bodily injury claim, your admission on the scene that you weren't hurt is going to be used against you. It's not insurmountable, but it doesn't make anything easier for you. Don't agree to go without a police report. Sometimes somebody will hit you and say, hey, I'll pay for this. I know it was my fault. We don't need to get the police involved. Problem is, I've seen this too many times. They say that they're going to take care of things, and then as soon as you drive away and it's no longer clear who hit whom or what exactly happened, they change their story and they say that the accident was your fault. So if somebody's hit you, don't let them talk you out of getting a police report. It's an important thing for you to have. So those are a few things to keep in mind if you're ever in the situation where somebody's hit you and you're wondering what to do and what not to do on the scene. If you want to keep in touch with us, you can find us at piedmontinjurylaw.com, or you can find us on social media like Facebook and Instagram. And if you're interested, send us an email at info@piedmontinjurylaw.com, and we will send you a small survival kit that you can keep in your car to give you this information and some tools that you might need in case you're ever in a car crash. Drive safely. We hope we won't meet you as a client, but if you ever do need us, you know where to find us. Have a good day.